Hi everyone, my name is Sanaz Haghani and I want to show you how to do screen printing with screen filler and drawing Floyd method. This is a really great method if you are trying to do screen printing at home without darkroom and exposure you need. At first, I want to talk about the material. You need a screen filler which has screen Floyd drawing, and it has this beautiful blue color. And you also need screen filler which come with this rusted red color. You need to have emulsion scoop coater, and this is it's designed to provide a perfect coating, and you can control the coating process easily by using this tool. They can be used with any liquid emulsion for any mesh count while providing a smooth and evenly layer of filler or emulsion on your screen every time. So you just need to use them and wash them out. And you also need a squeegee. They come in different sizes. I usually choose my squeegee based on the size of the image because I don't want to waste ink or make any mess by using a bigger or a smaller squeegee. Small squeegees are not appropriate for big images because the ink needs to go across the screen with this tool. And of course, I have spatulas. I have a clean sponge. I am going to use spatulas when I want to use or take the ink from the jar, and when I want to apply the ink on my screen. And you also need screen printing ink, so you can I usually use water-based ink because it's really easy to clean, and you can use screen print ink on different materials such as paper, wood, plastic, but if you wanna use or print, this technique or print on the t-shirt, you need to have fabric ink. And then I would use this micron pen because I want to transfer, by using this micron pen I'm going to transfer my image on the screen. You will need painter's blue tape to cover the edges of your screen. And if you have because on one screen you can have different images, and so you need scotch tape. When you want to print one image, you can use the scotch tape, cover the other images, and print one image, and then use the scotch tape, tape the other image, and just keep going and print all your images. And you also need a speed clean, and at the end when you finish, this medium will help you to clean the screen filler from your screen. You also can use soap and water, but because the screen filler is kind of thick medium, it's better to use this one. I'm going to show you how to use these mediums later. I also have some Q-tips because when you start and draw with drawing Floyd, sometimes if you make a mistake, you can easily use these Q-tips and go over your image and clean any mistakes that you have made. I also have water, some different brush sizes, And I think that's all. So now I wanna show you how to like transfer your image on your screen. So you just need to lay down your image under the screen. You can tape it if you don't, if especially if you have details on your image, it's better tape your image so it's not going to move during the transferring process. Also, I have these two hinges, which you can buy them from hardware stores or black art store or Amazon. And so you can just because I usually use this table for screen printing, I already attached it to my table. And you can just attach your screen, and so these hinges are going to keep your screen so it's not going to move during the printing process or when you want to transfer your image. But for this process, because I don't have that much detail on my image, I'm not going to use those hinges. And also I have two different images, and as I said, you can print different images, you can draw different images on your screen. So I'm going to transfer these two images on my screen, and later I would show you how to print them. For example, I'm going to use this image and print it on the paper, and I'm going to print this. Oh, sorry. I'm going to print this image on the t-shirt, and I'm going to print this image on the paper. So you just need to hold your screen and just use micron pen and simply go over your image and transfer it. Micron pens are water based, so after you finish, after you print, you can just wash them really easily. You don't want to like push the pen on the screen. You just need to move it really gently, because if you push it hardly, you can make some holes on the screen, and that so if you do that, you cannot use the screen anymore. So just use it and go over the image really smoothly and gently. So I'm almost done. Okay, so that's my image, and as you can see, I transformed it, and I use the inside of the screen. And then for the next image, I'm not going to transform it, I'm not going to use micron pen. I'm going to show you how you can like use drawing fluid and like draw directly on your screen, and have some like brush strokes, and have some painterly effects on your image. So as you can see, I already transferred my image, and I am going to use these two wooden pieces to lay down them under the blasters. And this way, if the drawing Floyd dropped, I could protect the screen. And so I'm going to start. And I also usually want to have a piece of paper underneath the screen, because I wanna like keep my table clean. So I have these wooden pieces, so on this way the screen is not going to touch the any surface, so because the drawing fluid is kind of liquidy, so it's better to protect your screen from any dropping or any other things. Okay, so this is my brush, and this is the drawing fluid. And so this is, as I mentioned, this is a really direct process, and what you, for example, you can just directly add the drawing fluid on the a screen. You don't need a really thick layer of this medium. You just need to make sure that you cover the screen, and you don't leave any open area on the on your image. And so, and when I get to the edges, I try to make a really fine lines. And as I mentioned, if you make a mistake, you can like later clean the mistake. As you can see here, I made a really small mistake, so I'm going to use this Q-tip and just clean it off. Yeah, like this. And you use drawing fluid for the area that you want to get print, because later after adding screen filler, you can wash this medium, and then you will have an open area here, and you can like simply print your image. You also can have some pantry effects, which I'm going to show that to you later. But because for this image, I want to get a really solid um, image, so I'm not going to like try that technique for this image. If you have any bubble, just try to make sure that you cover them, because they may make some holes, and holes means open areas. So that's what I was talking. I pushed the screen, but which is fine. I'm going to cover that part. Okay, I think I'm done. I just want to make sure that I cover everything. Last touches. Also because I already make some mistakes here. I'm going to clean them up like this. Then I would add my last touches. Okay, so now my image is ready, and I need to clean my brush. So that's how it looks like, and now I need to wait until this image gets right. So as you can see, I already finished the first image, and I want to try and to draw directly and without using any micron pen. And as I mentioned, you don't need a really thick coat of this medium. You just need to keep it moving around as best as you can. And what is this medium, or what's the drawing Floyd is going to do is this is going to repel the screen filler. This is a very direct process, and what you see here is pretty much what you are going to get. And as you can see how I painted it, it's not a very thick or very thin layer. You just need to make sure that you cover the entire image without any open area. If you see some pinholes, just cover them. By pinholes, I mean the area where maybe there is a bubble, because those might actually wind up being like a little spot. And especially when you add the screen filler, you will see them. And so as I mentioned, I want to try some freehand or directly, draw directly on this screen. And also I wanna have some brush strokes effects on my second image. So I'm going to as you can see, I add some dots around the image because I want to get some painterly look of this, of my second image. So, and when you add a thick layer, you can just simply take them off. It's not a big deal. So I want to just move my brush and see what kind of effect I could get from this type of drawing. Okay, so I finish with the image, and after you finish, after you added the drawing fluid, you need to leave your screen somewhere safe until the drawing fluid gets completely dry. You can put it in front of a fan, or you can just put it somewhere until it gets dry, which mine is totally dry now, and it takes about like less than 20 minutes. It depends on the thickness on the of the medium, but as you can see, I touch it and it's completely dry. And the next step is applying a screen filler. As I mentioned, I have my dried screen, and now I want to apply the screen filler. You can apply the screen filler in any way or direction that works best for you. I am going to use an emulsion scoop coder because it's as I said, it's a lot easier and I can do it on one nice clean pass, but you can also use your squeegee too. One coat is enough, and as you can see, I use the inside part of the screen, but you can also use the other side. For bigger screens, especially when I want to use exposure unit, I usually coat the other side, but for this technique I usually want to coat the inside the screen, but both sides would work. Okay, so the screen filler has a thick pigment and it settles to the bottom of the jar, so you want to stir it up really well. Please don't shake the jar, because by shaking the jar you will get bubbles which will rise to the surface, and you will have little tiny holes all over your screen, and that's a bummer because you have to fix them and you need to go over all of those dots and fix them. So just stir it up, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of liquidy, so I think it seems good now. So I am going as I mentioned, because I have this scoop cooper, so I'm going to add a really small amount of screen filler inside the scoop coder, and so you just need to kind of attach your scooper coder to your screen, and then run it one time. And I added a piece of newsprint because I knew that's going to happen, but as you can see, I have this. So I'm going, because I missed this part, I'm going to use my brush, because it's not on the my image, so I'm going to use my brush and just add a really thin layer of the color. Sorry, the filler here, and I think that's it. So again, I'm going to leave it somewhere until it gets completely dry. I can again, I'm going to add something like this tape or my sponge underneath the my screen, because I don't want my screen touch the any surface. So I'm going to like add something here so they will like hold it up. And on this point, you just need to leave your screen until it gets completely dry, and then I will show you the next step. Okay, so now I have my dried screen, and I think I left it to get dry about 3 hours. I didn't put it in front of a fan. I just left it somewhere safe to get dry, and I'm going to you can just take it to the sink and wash it carefully, or you can simply use a clean towel or a sponge and wet clean sponge, and just scrub the skin until it gets completely clean. So, as I said, it's a water-based medium, and it washes out really easily. And just be careful not to use too much pressure when wash it out, because if you add too much pressure, you can remove a screen filler around your image. You don't need too much water, just a damp uh, rag or a sponge would work. Even an old toothbrush, you can use it. As you can see, I try to, clean the um, drawing fluid from both sides. Okay, so I'm done. Now I'm going to wait until it gets completely dry, maybe about 10 minutes. So it's completely clean, and it doesn't have any drawing fluid on the screen. So on this point, because I want to print this image at first, and I'm going to print it on the paper, and I'm going to use this painter tape to mask area that I don't want to print yet. So the first thing that I would do, I want to cover the edges of my screen. Any open areas that ink could go through it, I'm going to like tape. And always be careful, especially on the corner of the screen. You need to make sure that you don't have any open area. I have a really small open area here which I taped it, and also I'm gonna tape this area as well, and this area. I'm going to push tape. Okay, so because as I said I'm going to print this image, I clear scotch tape here because I want to protect this from the ink. Okay, so there we go. So it's completely masked up, and now it's printing time. So the next step is you need to lay out your image. This is a lithography print, and I want to add another layer on top of this print. So I'm going to place my image, like I don't want to print it at the middle, maybe toward the corner, toward the edges, right side. And you can, if you have hinges, you can attach your screen to those hinges, but if you don't have it, you can just hold your screen, because you don't want, when you are printing, you don't want your screen move. And then this is the ink, and I would use my spatula, and I'm going to lay a thick bit of ink above my image, like this, from the end, start to the end. I want to make sure that when I print, the ink would go through all the area of my image. If you have extra ink, you can just put it back in the container. And then I'm going to, and always make sure that you add extra ink here. And now I'm going to hold my screen, as I mentioned, and then hold my squeegee at 45-degree angle, and I'm going to try and pull the ink across the image 1 or 2 times. It's better to try it in one pass, but sometimes we need to do that 2 times. So you need to kind of push your squeegee, and as I said, hold it in 45 angle degree, and print. Okay, I'm going to do that 2 times because I want to make sure that I get a nice print. And then you can add your squeegee somewhere and take your screen carefully. Ta-da! So that's how you can print, right? So the next step is, of course, because the ink is wet, I wanna put it somewhere safe until the image gets completely dry. And now, because I have extra ink, I'm going to use my spatula and take the extra ink and put it back in the container. And if you want to like print several images, you can just go ahead and print your next image. But if you plan to just have one print, you can also like, of course I have some extra ink on my spatula, so I'm going to clean that up and put it back inside the jar. And later I would wash my squeegee. Okay, and as you can see, I always have a damp rag around my table because I want to clean my hand or other stuff. So now because we don't want to we need to clean the screen, because if we leave the ink on the screen, it's going to get dry and it's going to be really hard to clean it. So I'm going to like clean the ink from the skin from both sides. And I want to make sure that there is no extra ink on the skin. It needs to be completely clean. Okay, so as you can see, it gets completely clean, and now I want to print the other image on a t-shirt. So make sure that you have a clean hand, and I just peel off tape. And I would cover the other image because I want to print the next image. Okay, and because I already used this side, because I think maybe it's going to like ghost like maybe I can get some ghost ink from the other side, because I already printed that part. So I'm going to take both sides now. I want to keep the t-shirt completely clean. So when you use a couple of images on one screen, always try to like tape the both sides, especially if you like print it and already get print from one of them. Okay, so it's ready. Now I'm going to leave it here, and I would take my t-shirt and I would like lay out my shirt on a smooth and flat surface, and like put this part inside the t-shirt and then I make sure that there is no wrinkle and the area that I want to print, like this. And I want to print on this area, so I would take my screen and place it here in the area that I want to get print, and I would hold it. I would add a bit of ink. So now I want to clean the screen filler from my screen. You can store your screen if you want to use this in your image later, but if you don't want to use it, it's better to clean it off immediately, because if you leave the screen filler on the screen for a long time, it's going to be really hard to clean it. Then I would soak my screen with a speed clean. You can add it on the sponge. Again, you don't need to push it too hard because you don't want to make any hole on your screen. Just gently move it around and scrub your screen. And do that from the other side as well. You can soak it for 2 or 3 minutes. It's getting clean, as you can see here. Do that from both sides. As I said, you can use some brush if you have, especially on the thicker line. It's going to be much easier to clean it off. Okay, so as you can see, it gets completely clean. And so I'm going to wash it off and leave it somewhere until it gets completely dry. And that was the process. Yep. Make sure that you don't leave any screen filler on your screen, and make sure that all the area of the mesh is open, which it's open right now. And that was it. Okay, so I'm done with printing. I printed this image on the screen, on the t-shirt, as you can see, and because I had a really thin layer of a screen filler, the ink got through that area, so I just used a brush and I added some line to cover that mistake. But so you can just, when you add the screen filler, you can just keep it through the light and make sure that you don't have any hole or any open area before you start to print. And when you print on the fabric, after you finish, you can, and after the ink gets dry, you can it's better to bake the ink, so you can just use like a hair dryer and use it for 2 or 3 minutes and bake the ink. And after that, you can just wear your t-shirt and wash it all the time, and it's going to be completely safe. And this is the other image that I printed on the paper, so I just wanted to show you these images. Make sure after you finish the printing process, make sure that you wash your squeegee, you wash your scoop coder, you wash like your brushes, and of course don't forget to clean and wash up your screen. Hope you enjoy this process, and I hope you during this coming weekend you have enough time to try this beautiful and cool method to make some prints for yourself, or you can make some postcards or print on t-shirt and give it to your beloved one. Thank you so much for watching this video.